Hi, if you're like me and most Uilleann pipers, you're probably coming to the music from the world of the Great Highland Bagpipes or Scottish small pipes. You may be mouth blown or you may be taking on the bellows blown pipes. We're going to be talking about the big learnings that I've had in the last 2 months. And I've come from the world of bellows blown Scottish small pipes. To keep things easy, when I say pipes, I mean Great Highland Bagpipes or Scottish small pipes. They could be mouth blown or bellows blown. They could be Northumbrian pipes or real pipes or border pipes or kitchen pipes or all those kind of other pipes. Everything except Uilleann pipes or Irish pipes. 4 big learnings. So much is the same. If you're already a bellows piper, you're already halfway there. If you're not, you'll probably need to add on a couple months or maybe a month to learn the steady blowing, not steady, but the coordination, put it that way, of bellows pipes. Steady blowing is something that is a requirement on the Scottish small pipes and in the Great Highland pipes, but Uilleann pipes, we'll learn not quite so much. That said, you should be playing bellows small pipes anyways. That sound fits better at gigs and sessions. The instrument is more stable to tune and play. It doesn't build up all that liquidy gunk in the bag that God knows what's happening inside there. And the reeds may last a lifetime. You probably already know how to read basic music. Although the Scottish small pipes are keyed in A, much of the music easily transfers to the native key of D in the Uilleanns. What? Bagpipes have a key? In the native key of Uilleanns, it's a low note is D, which allows you to play with guitars, accordions, fiddles, other instruments, and that won't change over the life of the instrument. Learning Uilleanns after small pipes, bellows blown particularly, is a lot like learning Spanish or Italian after you speak French. It's something familiar about it structurally. It's a lot easier. Many of the same pieces that you've already learned. Fingering on the chanter is essentially the same, where the more open holes you have on the chanter, the higher the pitches of the music. Secondly, so much is different. The big difference being though is that with a bit of bag pressure changing, you actually can jump an octave up. And that brings you into a broader range of notes, and that's probably one of the biggest differences between the Uilleann pipes and the other pipes. Great Highland pipes and small pipes, well, they sound like Great Highland pipes and small pipes. They sound like bagpipes. The Uilleann pipes are all kinds of sounds. They could be like a trumpet or an oboe or a saxophone or a wailing high-pitched voice on the wind blowing out over the moors. There's so many voices within this instrument. Style is more relaxed and more playful, more jazz. The absolute sticking to the music and striking a G grip on that or a trelua on that note there, that just doesn't apply. In fact, any particular piece of music might have half a dozen different names and many different and dozens of variations. There is no Scots Guard equivalent in the Uilleann pipe world. In fact, most of the top players rarely play the same piece the same way 2 times in a row. It's just, they're always modifying it, making things up, trying something, experimenting with it. Music is written a bit different as well, if not easier. The notes are the same, but what you'll find missing are all the embellishments written into the music. If you're a small pipes player, you might have noticed that already. A lot of small pipe music is written without really any embellishments at all. It's just the notes and the time value of the notes. You might see a cran, which is kind of the Uilleann equivalent of a G, D, E grace note, which gives it a bit more flavor to the notes, and maybe a slide, which we'll talk about a little bit. But for the most part, the music is unembellished. That's up to you. The rock steady blowing and holding that steady air going through the Highland pipes or the small pipes, it's just not there. It doesn't work with Uilleann pipes. The upper octaves require a jump in pressure and settling back down quickly to the lower octave. So a steady bag pressure just doesn't happen. It's very dynamic. In fact, every note almost has a different pressure behind it on the bag. And there are more notes. Instead of the 9 notes on the small pipes, there are 14 regular notes from the low D through to the high D, high B, and less commonly a high C. If you've never seen music outside of Scottish bagpipes, getting used to seeing notes below and above the staff takes a little bit of getting used to. There are many more notes available on the Uilleann chanter, but usually 13 are played. That's at least 50% more than the small pipes, and it adds far more range to the music possibilities. Those notes often start from the note below, softly landed on and slid upwards to the themal note, which is the classic Uilleann sound. Upper hand grace notes, which is almost every Great Highland Bagpipe tune, occurs on almost every note. That rarely ever happens. Instead, it's that more softer lower hand touch, just slowly creeping up to the note that you're about to play. Normal bagpipes are legato, or continuous, which means that once you strike in, there is no sound until you stop, and the volume is constant. Well, in theory anyway. The sense of volume changes is created by careful embellishments and note length changes, and that creates an apparent dynamic range. The Uilleann chanter shuts off when all the holes are closed and the chanter rests on the leg. Each note can be individually sounded with silence in between, or a staccato note. This effect is unique and very audible and it's often used to accent pieces of music. If you listen to Uilleann pipe music on YouTube, you'll hear the distinct styles of staccato versus continuous legato music, and both sound nice and have their place. The notes themselves have slightly different loudnesses as they're affected by the bag pressure. So in addition to the note duration, there is physical sound level changes too. This is a whole different way of playing when we've tried to execute clean notes with no crossing noises or woolly edges. And really, we're looking at just the opposite now, with slow transitions between notes and lots of smearing of one note into another note. And speaking of different, the third thing, learning is different. The higher cost of Uilleann pipes and the far lower number of Uilleann players, my guess is that there's maybe 5% of all pipers are Uilleann piper players. So that's a much smaller market. So the pipes tend to be more expensive and there's less instructors around. Nearly every reasonable sized city has a pipe band or individual pipe players, and usually the senior players are instructors. This may not be the case for Uilleann pipes, although for a beginner, any pipe teacher may work at the start. For the self-learner of bagpipes, there are some excellent guides like the classic College of Piping, or Jim McGilvery's Pipes Up discs, or John Cairns' excellent and thorough stepwise instruction books, and through the joy of Zoom, many online instructors like Jory Chisholm or Andrew Douglas's Dojo University. The world of Uilleann pipes has less material written available to go through. There is one very good guidebook, which is this one here. And there's also online instruction, Uilleann Pipe Academy, Pete Purvis. There are other ones available as well. All bagpipers start with a basic practice chanter. Instead of a chanter on the Uilleann pipes, you'll need to buy a low D whistle, which plays in the same key as the Uilleanns and has the same note range and is much quieter and easier to learn the tunes on. It's a great musical instrument in its own right, and there are many makers and reasonably priced ones available. Just go on YouTube to see numerous reviews and instructions, maybe even links to get discounts on the prices. Another learning aid is the electronic chanter. They're great. You can plug in headphones, you can practice quietly at home, or if you're traveling, take them on the road. They don't take up any space. Batteries last a long time, and the sound is really good, and often they might have built-in metronomes and other features as well. The Blair chanter allows an Uilleann pipe note set to be played and adjusts the fingering to closely mimic an actual Uilleann chanter. And it's a remarkably good sound. The online community is rich and supportive, with websites like thesession.org offering musical support, broad-ranging conversations, background history of every imaginable aspect of ITM, or Irish traditional music. And don't let that ITM thing scare you. It includes Scottish, English, Irish, Newfoundland, Cape Breton, Appalachian, Brittany, basically all kinds of folk music. You need to watch out for the music workshops in schools held where Celtic arts are performed. In the Northwest Pacific, where I am, Dr. Gord Pollock in Victoria, some of the SFU band people in Vancouver, the Celtic Arts Foundation in Mount Vernon, Washington, just across the border. They all are always bringing in instructors for workshops and concert. Fred Morrison to lead workshops and troubleshoot pipes and provide wisdom, and that's what I bought his pipes here actually, and I'll talk a bit more about those in a second. But check their websites and definitely sign up, even though you may be the biggest newbie in the room. The others are always supportive, as they all just started just like you. You may not be as skilled enough to play with regular groups or sessions, which are when a mix of instruments gets together and plays folk tunes with generally a wide-ranging repertoire. So you may be just sitting out and listening for the first many times as you get yourself up to speed on a couple of simple tunes. But you'll be happy as a solo player until you maybe discover other kindred spirits in your area. Pipes can be physically demanding. Of course, Highland bagpipes can be physically demanding. Scottish small pipes can be as well. Uilleann pipes are no exception. The Great Highland bagpipes are rarely played sitting. The Scottish small pipes are happy sitting or walking about. You'll rarely get tired from your posture. But the Uilleanns are meant to be played in an armless chair sitting, with the chanter and drones resting on a bent leg and the other leg tapping the beat. The bag pressure control requires a relatively motion-free posture. Practicing and playing can be quite stiff on the back after a while, so it's good to stand and stretch, and the upper octave can be loud and obviously high-pitched, so ear protection may be needed, especially in a confined practice area. The bigger, fatter chanter feels odd at first. The hand spread is greater, and the lifting off of the chanter for the low D can be confusing when the music is quickly changing. And it's a tricky note to consistently play clean without squeaks, as every hole has to be completely covered. Small keys on the chanters, which look kind of complicated, allow special sharps and naturals to be played, but are rarely used. The chanters are tuned differently. Uilleann chanters routinely have thin wires and small washers placed inside them, known as reeds, to impact tuning. Unlike the fully taped chanters of Great Highland Bagpipes and Scottish small pipes, you'll rarely see Uilleann pipes chanters tuned with tape. One nice feature of the Uilleann chanters is they remain at concert pitch through their life and don't change to fit competition pressure, like the Great Highland Bagpipes, which, creep up every decade. And you're always getting new chanters and new reeds in your band. Going back and forth between the Great Highland Bagpipes, the mouth-blown Scottish small pipes, the bellows-blown Scottish small pipes, the low D whistle, the Blair electronic chanter, the Uilleann pipes. But I must admit, I'm still confused. I get sometimes caught up and I'll resort to one fingering versus another, or the spacing of the fingering changes and I haven't quickly accommodated that. I guess that takes some time to learn. It always takes me some time to adjust to each shape again, as the holes seem small pipe chanters and the practice chanter and close together coming off of the Uilleann chanter. There are many boutique pipe makers, and each chanter has its own reed by that maker and are not generally interchangeable. This seems crazy to the piping world, where drone reeds can be cane or plastic, and chanter reeds are used and replaced interchangeably by any manufacturer. If you are buying Uilleann pipes, especially if they're second-hand or vintage, you must have a knowledgeable player inspect and play them, guaranteeing the reed functions properly. And hopefully locate the maker for any repairs or new reeds. At least a well-cared-for reed may last the life of the pipes. Unlike big pipes, the Uilleanns can be purchased progressively as one commits and has the budget. A practice set consists of a bag, a bellows, and a chanter. A half set adds on the bass, baritone, and the tenor drum. A 3/4 set adds on 2 regulators to 2 pre-drilled holes in the stock, and a full set adds the big bass drone, which crosses your arm here. The stock has to be sent back to Scotland to be bored out to fit the bass drone. Each one adds quite a bit of cost, and there's often a long wait for these pipes to physically be made. Fred Morrison designed pipes. He has partnered with McCallum, a big pipe manufacturer in Scotland, which pretty much has guaranteed the quality control and the longevity. I know that they're going to stand behind their product. We'll be making reeds, repairs, a lifetime of support. It's important when you get that set of pipes to know that if something goes wrong, there's a way of finding how to get them fixed. This is truly a big investment, which is, by now, if you bought the regulators as well as the drones, it's like having a semi-portable pipe organ sitting in your lap. It's an incredible sound, but it's a big investment. Nice thing about it, though, is that you can do it step by step. The delicate nature of the reed and its numerous joints in the pipes and connections mean that hemping and maintenance is extremely important. There's lots of places for air to leak out. So in addition to a basic maintenance kit of hemp and scissors, you can carry it in a pipe box. The one that comes with the pipes is adequate, but you have to break the sections of the drones down so that it does fit in there. I have bought a guitar case to hold the pipes, and it's great because now I can leave the entire section of the drones set up and put them in there along with my whistle, the bellows, my popping strap, which is a piece of leather that sits on your legs to ensure a nice tight seal from the D you're playing. Fits in there, easy to carry, quick to tune and set up, and is well protected. So yeah, these pipes are a lot of money. However, the resale value is quite high. If you look at any online that are secondhand, you'll see that they keep their value extremely well, which is more to be said than buying a car or any piece of tech equipment, which starts to lose its value immediately. These are things that you will enjoy for life, make you smarter as you learn music and socially have more fun as you learn to play with other people. After 2 months into this transition, I have the fingering reasonably good in both octaves now. I really enjoy the fact that I can play some of the music immediately, like Minstrel Boy. I really like the fact that I can now play some of the beautiful music that I had not been able to transpose onto pipes at all, like Neil Gow's Lament for His Second Wife. Absolutely gorgeous piece of music. Not super difficult on the Uilleann pipes. Difficult to play it beautifully, but the mechanics of just getting the notes and getting the order and learning the music, I've got that now. So I hope I haven't made this sound too onerous or complicated. Even though I'm often frustrated by squeaky low Ds or intimidated by the vast repertoire of music out there, I'm glad I made the decision, and I wished I'd done it earlier. Listen to the many styles of pipers on YouTube and follow the music forms. Legato versus staccato, crisp note changes or slow sliding. There are so many styles to listen to. Eventually you will develop your own. So take all that learning that you've had with the Great Highland Bagpipes and the Scottish small pipes and learning the bellows and the music. You can apply so much of it to the Uilleann pipe world. A fantastic and beautiful sound, and I don't think you'll have any regrets about it.